Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let me show you how you can do complex batch file renames using the Shortcuts app. MACMOST is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 1,000 supporters. Go to MACMOST.com/Patreon. There you could read more about the Patreon campaign, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. Now the batch rename tool in the Finder is useful for simple replacements. You can replace one group of characters with another group of characters. But if you want to do something more complex, you would have to go to the Shortcuts app. You can do a lot with the Shortcuts app, including using regular expressions. So I've got a bunch of files here I could rename. Let's go to the Shortcuts app and create a new shortcut. And let's do an example here. Something pretty simple. Like let's look for file names that have 3 words in them and then reverse the order of the words. So that's definitely not something we can do with the regular batch rename tool. But here, if we wanted to do it in Shortcuts, what we would start with first is we go to the details here on the right and we'd say let's use this as a quick action and in the Finder. That allows us to select a bunch of files and then execute a quick action. This quick action that we're creating. Let's call this rename file : reverse 3 words. Now let's go and have it just receive files. So I'll click here and then I'll turn all these off. A quick way to do that is select all, deselect all, and now I'll just set it to files. So now receive files from quick actions. If there's nothing, let's just say stop and respond with no response so it just doesn't run if no files were selected. Now we want to go to the actions here and we want to loop through all the files that were selected. So I'm going to do a repeat loop and I'll repeat with each. I'll drag that in. So all the files that come into the shortcut input is going to repeat and go through them. Now we need to get the name of the file. To do that we'll look for details, files, and we have get details of files. We want to add this here twice actually. And let's put it inside the repeat loop. And the second time inside the repeat loop too. The first detail we'll get is we'll get the file extension. And we'll get the extension of the repeat item. Each time through the loop it gets the file extension. The next one we'll get is the file name and we'll get that of the repeat extension as well. So we'll clear that out, click here and say the repeat item. So now we get the extension, we get the name. Now what we want to do is process the name. So let's go and replace, and there's replace text right here. We'll use that. And if we look at show more we could see one of the things we can do with the replace text is use a regular expression. So this gives us access to a complete language of how to handle text. Regular expressions are a really complex thing but you can look up all sorts of information online about how to use regular expressions for various things. We're going to do something fairly simple here. So we're going to look for a pattern and it's going to start with the caret symbol, Shift-6 on US keyboards. This means the beginning of the text. And then we're going to put in parentheses the first word. So we can do this many different ways. I'm going to choose \W for word characters and asterisk as many word characters as is needed. Close the parentheses. Then I'm going to do \, and then S for white space. And then the second word like that, space, and then the third word, and then a $sign to indicate the end of the pattern. So the pattern has to be word space, word space, word. And each of the words is captured. It's part of what's called a capture group. You've got this in parentheses. So everything in parentheses, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, is captured. So the output can take those captured bits and reuse them. So I could do $3 for the third word, space, $2 for the second word, space, $1 for the first word. So it's going to replace word 1, word 2, word 3 with word 3, word 2, word 1. Spaces in between them. And then we'll make sure we have case sensitive turned off and we should now have valid names that come out of this where it reverses those 3 words. Let's take rename file and put that as the next item. And then we're going to rename the repeat item with, and we'll go in here and we can put the output from this. So I'll control click and insert variable and say the updated text dot and then control click, insert variable, and the file extension that we got right here. And now it should go through, loop through all of the selected files, take first word, second word, third word, and then reverse them replace it, and then now it's going to rename that file this new name. Now another problem I'm going to run into is that if I try to rename a file the same thing, like the second one here doesn't match a pattern, so it's going to try to rename beach.jpg as beach.jpg. It's going to give me an error. Shortcuts isn't smart enough to know just to skip it. So what we want to do here is we're going to do an if statement, and we're going to say if the updated text is the original name, so it hasn't changed, then do nothing. Otherwise, rename the file. So only rename the file if there's been a change. So let's go and give this a try here. I'll just go to Quick Actions, Rename, and you can see it will go in, and the two files that had 3 words in them, the words in them are now reversed. So this is a simple example just to show you how you could basically use any regular expression here using the replace action to perform really complex changes on file names based on a pattern. If you're good with regular expressions, then you can use this to do just about anything. You could also, of course, use regular expressions in Terminal, but if you prefer to have it here in Shortcuts, then you could do it here. And also, of course, this is reusable very easily. So you can have this set up, and if this is some sort of pattern that you need to match and change in file names often, then you could just have this shortcut here ready to go whenever you need it. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.